Hello, Bible timers. Welcome to the Friday edition. And I have some really exciting news that we're just going to start off this session with exciting news that I'm eager to share with you. And here it is. Sunday, we get to go to church an hour earlier than we normally do. Because it's that time of the year, Saturday night, when you go to bed, you turn your clock ahead an hour. And all that means is that you get to go to church an hour earlier than usual. That's exciting to me. I'm looking forward to being there together with you on Sunday as we worship the Lord as a church family. And I'm excited too about what we're looking at today. We're just looking at one psalm today, a great psalm to end our week on, Psalm 139. A familiar psalm to many people, a psalm of David, a great psalm, an impactful psalm that has changed many lives. And so let's take a look at it here. Psalm 139, David begins by talking about the characteristics of God. For example, God knows everything. Verse 1, O Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know when I sit down and when I rise up. You discern my thoughts from afar. And even verse 4, even before a word is on my tongue, behold, O Lord, you know it altogether. You know what I want to say before I even say it. Yeah, and that's the amazing thing. God doesn't learn anything. God knows everything, and that's what David is expressing here. That the fact that God knows everything. In fact, verse 6, he goes, "Such knowledge is too wonderful for me. It is high. I cannot attain to it. I can't wrap my brain around the fact that God knows everything. He's omniscient." Then in verses 7 through 12, he's omnipresent. He's omnipresent. Where shall I go from your spirit, or where shall I flee from your presence? The answer is nowhere. God is omnipresent. And so God knows everything. God is everywhere. And God is my creator. God created me. Verse 13 through 16, you formed my inward parts. You knitted me together in my mother's womb. God made me. And so verse 14, I praise you for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And when you look at the human body and you understand all the complexities of it, you would say, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. It's amazing what God has done in making me and making people. And then verse 16, he says, your eyes saw my unformed substance. In your book were written, every one of them, the days that were formed for me, when as yet there was none of them. So God created us, and he created us for a time. Your life is determined by God. He determined how long you were going to live before you were even born. And so this is just awe-inspiring instruction about God. And so you see David's response in verse 17, how precious to me are your thoughts, O God, how vast is the sum of them. If I would count them, they are more than the sand. I awake and I am still with you. God, David is just blown away as he considers God, the fact that God knows everything, the fact that God is everywhere, the fact that God created me specifically, individually, and gave me a certain number of days. What amazing truth this is. And so therefore, in verse 19, he goes on to say, oh, that you would slay the wicked, O God, O men of blood, depart from me. Therefore, because of God, of his thoughts about God, David hates everything that is opposed to God. It sums up there at the end of verse 20, your enemies, they take your name in vain. And that's just unthinkable to David when you understand who God is, to think that somebody would take his name in vain. David hates everything opposed to God. And an example of that, famous example, be 1 Samuel 17, David and Goliath. And why was David so riled up? Why was David willing to go out and take on Goliath when nobody else was? Because he says there in 1 Samuel 17 that Goliath had defied the armies of the living God. You just don't do that. And so David shows his commitment. Not only is he in awe of God, but he's going to stand up for God against everything that is opposed to God. But the psalm ends with a very personal touch, a very practical touch, If you believe that God knows everything and that God is everywhere and that God knows you individually because he created you, then you end like this. Search me, O God, and know my heart. Try me and know my thoughts, and see if there be any grievous way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. If this is true about God, if this is what I believe about God, then I want him to examine me. I want him to reveal things to me about myself. I want to stay away from any grievous way. I want to walk in the way everlasting. That'd be a great thing for you and me to do. What a great way to end a week to do on a Friday, to ask the Lord to search me. Search me, Lord, and reveal to me anything that's grievous to you, and lead me in the way everlasting. What a great way to end our week, and what a great way to prepare us to look forward to worshiping an hour earlier this Sunday. I'm so excited about that. So we look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and then next week for more Bible time.